This is the SQL Server module, and in this module, we will discuss about the SQL Server security. Security is a very hot topic in the SQL Server, and this is the main responsibility being a DBA to implement the security. SQL Server provides very powerful features for the security, and we need the proper implementation for these features. So in this video, we will discuss about how to implement the authentication and authorization, and we will discuss about the data, how to encrypt and decrypt the data, and we will discuss about the tools provided by the SQL Server which are helping to protect the data. So before going to this topic, we'll see how the clients are connecting with the server. Whenever the SQL Server starts, SQL Server using some protocol to connect with the SQL Server client using some protocols to connect with the SQL Server. So these protocols are the shared memory, named pipes, and TCP/IP. If the when the SQL Server starts, if the TCP/IP protocol is enabled, then the server is assigned a specific port, and on this port the client will communicate with the server. And if the named pipe protocol is enabled, then SQL Server will listen on a specific named pipe. Now if this is the default instance, SQL Server is installed as a default instance, then the client communication with the server is very simple and straightforward. Client will listen on a default port. For the SQL Server default instance, the default port is 1433. So client know about this port, so it will directly communicate on this port with the default instance. But what will happen if this is not a default instance, it's a named instance? This named instance is installed on the same server where it already exists the default instance, or there are more than one name instances installed and they are using the dynamic ports. So if the client want to connect with the named instance, how the client will know about the port of that server? Because this is the dynamic port and client don't know about the ports. So in this case, the browser service will play its role. The browser service runs as a Windows service. uh, the browser service, what it will do, it will the client will communicate with the browser service on a specific port. The browser service port is the 14334. So client will communicate with the browser service, and browser service will advertise the information about the named instances, and then the client will know about the specific named instance port. Suppose if the client want to connect this named instance, so client will communicate with the browser service, and the browser service will read the this port of these named instances. Whenever the named instances started, it will write its dynamic port into the registry. So browser service will read this information in from the registry. Now the browser service have all the information about the named instances. So this client want to connect with the named instances, it will communicate with the browser service on UDP port 1434, and browser service will return the dynamic port of this name instance to this client. Now client have the port number of the named instance, and now client will communicate with this name instance using this port. So this is the function of the browser service.